I am very excited actually to invite a really, really wonderful fellow of ITB to the stage. And I'm looking for I know exactly who he is because I've worked with him before. It's Thomas Böhmke, and he is ready. He is ready over there on the line. And he's going to lead I'm still looking for this. He's going to lead a wonderful panel, which is going to be looking at how we are fostering inclusive leadership, when it comes to addressing gender equality in and around the LGBTQ+. And we are going to talk about also the messaging that we are sending out in order to actually grasp and understand how we best reach the LGBTQ+, it's just like rolling over the tongue, LGBTQ+ communities. And there is no better than Thomas Böhmke. He is a great friend of ITB Berlin. He's been here moderating many times, and he's brought together a beautiful panel, which he will introduce himself. So Thomas, without any further ado, I'd like you to the stage first, and then you can set the scene for what comes now. Thank you for being with us. Let's give him a hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. Thank you so much. Yes. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Rika. Yeah, very nice to have you all here. See so many familiar faces and many new faces as well. So we are talking about hotel certification programs for the LGBT community. I think this is the first time here at ITB that we talk really about those certification programs. We didn't do that really before. And it's really interesting and important topic, I think. And I'm very happy that we have some great panelists with us who are really into these certification programs and can give us some very good insights of this. And I think when I started my career in the 90s, we already had a first certification program. It was tech approved from community, what was the name? CMI. Community Marketing. It was a company in San Francisco, and they did tag-approved hotels all over the US. So that was a very first approach, and it was in those days, in the 90s, it was very successful already. But now we are 30 years later, and the LGBT tourism market is much more improved now, and we need, I think, much better solutions, and we have some companies for this doing this. But we need to know, what kind of different certifications are there in the market? What can hotels do? What are the requirements for hotels doing this? Can all the hotels really fulfill all the requirements? Because when we think about big hotel chains like Marriott, Accor, for example, they are global companies all over the world. And when you implement requirements for a company like this, you have to do it globally, also in countries where it's probably a problem. So and it's interesting from those companies also to learn how they do it. And this brings us to the last question: how can we include this in global inclusive strategies for hotels? So it's really interesting. I'd like to introduce my panelists here for today to come on stage. So I'd like to welcome Courtney Maywold first. She is with Booking.com. Then we have Edgar Wegelar from Queer Destinations. We have Dominic Fockerad. He is the Director of Commercial for Hotel Berlin here from this city. We have Alap Shah. He is from Queer Wadis International. And we have Shio Ikochi. She is the General Manager from the Ace Hotel in Kyoto, Japan. So, and
I left Thomas a seat.
You sit down.
Sure. Sorry. I left you a seat, but...
No, that's fine. That's fine. I will say, I see you better this way. I like it.
Okay.
No, I think we start that everybody introduce themselves. I think, Shio, we start with you. That we introduce everybody, that everyone knows who we are here.
Good afternoon. This is Shiho Ikeuchi. I'm from Kyoto, Japan. I'm a general manager of the Ace Hotel Kyoto. We are one of the most LGBTQ+ friendly hotels in Japan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Which he knows.
Yes, I was just there with you last October during the IGLTA convention in Osaka, yes.
Yeah, I'm Dominic. I'm from Hotel Berlin, a member of Radisson Individuals and belonging to Pandox, a Swedish hotel retail company. I'm working since more than 9 years in Berlin and since more than 22 years in the hotel industry. My hotel is located right next to the queer community location, let's say center of Berlin. And we're doing a lot there. And I'm also in charge of revenue, marketing, social media, and also all the collaborations we're doing within the community, but also in Berlin. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edgar Wegelar. I'm the CEO and the partner of Queer Destinations, a global distinction that was born 5 years ago, and that is doing a national strategy for countries such as Spain, Greece, and Mexico.
Hi everybody, my name's Courtney Maywald. I lead brand strategy for Booking.com, but as part of my role, I also look after what we call values marketing. So that's all things DEI and also sustainability. And that gives me the great honour to also lead our Travel Proud program, which I'm sure you're about to hear more about today.
Hi everyone, my name's Alap Shah. Really honored to be here. Thank you so much to Tomas and ITB. I play two hats here. One is I'm a consultant with Queer Vadis, and we do certification and supporting of businesses to become more socially sustainable. And my other role for many, many years, I focused on making the economic argument for human rights and why it's important to think about the social inclusion of LGBT, refugees and migrants, people living with disability, and how ensuring that we include them is actually an economic argument over including a human rights one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. I think now we have a picture who we have here. And you didn't say that you're also part of the Pink Pillow Berlin collection here. This is, yes. We'll talk about this later a little bit here. So I think I want to start with you, Courtney, because you have this Travel Proud program. I think many people know already, but I think you should explain a little bit how your program works and what are the benefits for the hotels and for the tourists.
I mean, I hope everybody knows about it. That would be a big win straight off the bat. I won't make you raise your hands, because right now in my head you'd all raise your hands, so it's better we all live in that blissful ignorance. So Travel Proud is Booking.com's Pride 365 program, I think is the way to think about it. So it's a 4-pillar program that's really designed to help us live up to our mission, which is making it easier for everyone to experience the world. And in this particular program, we're really focused on the LGBTQ+ community. So I'll talk you through the 4 pillars and then I'll get to the pinnacle in the crown, if you will, which is hopefully why you've heard of the program. So the first one is we have a lot of partnerships and sponsorships, which is really our way of investing in organisations that we think are doing great work for the LGBTQ+ community. So that's IGLTA, for example, the International LGBTQ+ Travel Association. We are a proud platinum partner. I've gesture here because Clark is in the room. If anyone's interested in learning more, I'll introduce you after the session. We're also the official travel partner of Eurovision, for example, which I would say is LGBTQ+ adjacent. So I'll claim that one for the program. We also do a lot of work in our second pillar with talent and creators. So we work with everybody from Martha Stewart, not LGBTQ+ as far as I know, and then Conchita Wurst, for example, who is our Travel Proud ambassador. Another, you can tell I'm a Eurovision superfan, that's 2 references already in a 2-minute slot. So talent and creator sponsorships. The third pillar is a big annual travel survey that we do, speaking to over 11,000 LGBTQ+ travellers to understand their experiences, and we share that data with the industry as well so that the whole industry can learn, and we really track the changes over time, which is super important to us. And then the fourth thing is also informed by listening to LGBTQ+ travellers, and that is what we call our partner education program. So we partner with a queer-owned business called Hospitable Me, also in the room, also happy to make an introduction. And through Hospitable Me, we actually market and fund free inclusivity training for accommodations all around the world in 11 languages. And so far, just under 100,000 accommodations have completed that training. So that's something we're incredibly proud of. Okay. And then the benefits, do I still have time?
No.
No.
No, very quickly.
The benefits are obviously for accommodations, it's free upskilling and how to be more hospitable to their guests. And from a traveller perspective, it's really that reassurance that the place that they're choosing to stay is really committed to providing a safe and welcoming experience.
Okay, thank you. Edgar, you have the Hospitality Meets Diversity program with Queer Destinations. So what are the essentials really for hotels and tourists with your program?
Yeah, so what we do is we do a training program. It's an educational program. And what we try is to avoid to do pinkwashing before having everyone of a company trained. But what does this mean? We do from the first person that works in a company to the last person that works in a company. In the tourism business, that means housekeeping is doing our program, reception is doing our program, a finance department is doing our program, and we avoid any pinkwashing after if we want to help them with with marketing and their strategy. It's an online program. It's very easy. It's like Netflix type. You do it's divided in 6 modules. At the end of each module, you have like a kind of a quiz. So we know how well prepared you are as a company to receive the LGBTQ consumer. And then we help you around to give you advertising in the major platforms, in major OTAs, in all the tourism professional events. We give you a fantastic view of what it is to work with the LGBTQ consumer. We also have a QR code, which gives us the feedback of each of the traveler that is staying in their place in the hotels, and they can give us their feedback of how they were treated. With this data, we give always positive or negative feedback to the properties, saying how to improve it. So we're always there. It's not just a stamp and we leave and we disappear. We're always there. We're always supporting the properties that are becoming queer destinations committed, and we try to make an excellence of people treating the community. It's very, very important that we are compromised 365 days, and whatever a property needs, we are there always to help and to try to avoid the lack of. Many times there is no. How do you say it? It's not. There is no bad faith. There is lack of knowledge. And that's what we try to improve always with the properties. A lot of people just don't know how to treat the community because they are not close to them or they don't know how to treat them. That's what where we work on.
Thank you, Edgar. Alap, you represent the Queer Bodies Accreditation and Certification Program, which was established 2020 with Sonnes and Beach. It's an Italian company from Italy. Yeah. So give us a quick insight. What is the essence for the companies and the clients? It's not only hotels. I think it's every company can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is the difference here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with a story because very similar to what I think was already been said. So I was in Bangladesh last week, and I was traveling there, and despite my privilege, despite being South Asian, I was a bit nervous. We've heard the stories of the political instability. We know a lot of LGBT people are going underground and being attacked, and we know it's happening everywhere in the world, right? Governments are actively trying to make us invisible. The attempt at trans erasure is very real, and I think it's something very scary that comes to me on an individual level, as well as I think when I travel, these questions really come up every day. And I think, it's the safety and security, but also the ability to be my authentic self. And that's why I think I'm really proud of what the work is happening on this panel, and including Queer Vadis, which, as you said, was started in 2020. And there's a couple of things that I think are very important to kind of call out. One is, we are often looking at meeting you where you are, which is very important, right? If you're a big company or a small company, it's important for us to understand your fears and your investments and how you want to think about being more inclusive to any traveler. My sister-in-law will not travel somewhere because she has a queer brother-in-law. And so it's often important to think about those different intersections, the training, the policies, thinking about it in that way, the marketing and the branding and the compliance. So we kind of similarly go and work on every step of that supply chain, but mostly it's about you all. How do you feel when your customers come in? Do you have fear around what it means to talk to a trans person? What happens when you make a mistake? And we're here, like you all, to think about that and come and partner with you in these unique ways. We also do a third-party certification audit, so we know that there's going to be not only us telling you this is the way to do it, but also a third party that comes in and says, here are ways to make sure you continue that sustainable process, which is really important. And again, we're all busy. I often go to Travel Proud because that gives me that quick sense of, okay, this is where I know I can feel safe and I can really be my authentic self. And last thing was just a few months ago, Queer Vadis became the first and so far only LGBT certification accredited by Travelist. So we're really excited about that partnership to really expand our value proposition and our differentiation. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Dominic, we just talked about your hotel is a member of the Pink Pillow Berlin collection. This is over 10 years now that you do this in Berlin, and this is different from other cities. I think it's only in Berlin where you do this. Maybe you can give a little overview why you decided to be part of this collection and how it helps you to be in the LGBT community.
Yeah, so Pink Pillow is celebrating almost 12 years. This initiative was founded almost 12 years ago It's part of Berlin, Visit Berlin, the tourism office, doing a lot of marketing for Berlin. And we have different pillars, also for MICE business and like niche segments. And the idea was that, okay, how can we attract this type of guests on the one side? And the other side is how can we make it safe for them? And you picked many topics like, okay, safe space, how to treat the guests, what is different. And also, I mean, Berlin is well known since many years, since decades, as a city for queer people and so on. But how can we make this better visible and also easier for the guests coming to Berlin? And this is a great thing. We have, like, at the moment, 45 hotels. And the idea is the hotels need to sign every year a charter where they're saying, hey, either I have trainings implemented in my hotel, we're also doing things within the hotel, training the staff, also how to treat the guests, how to go with the guests. But the other side is also how can we support maybe local institutions, organizations, and that we don't have the problem of a pink washing, like, okay, we only have a marketing label, and then nothing is happening. And we are meeting 4 times per year. We're doing like different activities. We're also trying to bring bloggers and influencers to Berlin to show them, also sometimes from countries where it's very challenging for this specific community to live or to exist, and to be active and to support also local things. And yeah, I moved to Berlin 9 years ago, and I was really surprised that we have like this institution which is very unique globally. If you look around, you don't have hotels working together and, you know, really to producing a movie, to listen what the people need, and also having like a separate booking page and doing like local activities and to connect with the people. And it's a great thing also to see that the people and the hotels are so engaged, you know, doing things, and also within the community. And of course, on one side is also attracting this type of business, but also to welcome the people to this very diverse city. And this is like what Pink Pillow is mainly doing. I mean, 12 years is a good time, and with this charity, with this charter, I have to say it's even better also to, you know, connect with the locals, because many local people don't understand, even the community, what is Pink Pillow, what are they doing? You know, we're supporting them. For one example from my side, I'm supporting also rainbow families. So I have a table tennis room in my hotel, and once per month I'm inviting them to play in my hotel. And it's also giving connection to the community. But we have so many institutions in Berlin, and they need also visibility. So this is...
Okay. Shiho, so your hotel, the Ace Hotel in Kyoto Urban, is an urban lifestyle hotel in the great city of Kyoto, really nice. And you have different target groups, and the LGBT group is guests are really integrated part in your hotel, as I saw myself. So it's no problem at all. Everybody is interacting very carefully, and you are not really part of these programs here. So what is your D&I strategy, really, in Japan? Maybe is Japan different from other hotels in Europe that we're interested in?
Yes, Japan is still like waking up.
Okay.
But it's been a lot of progress. But Ace Hotel is a small chain hotels, and then our headquarters is in New York. So we, as a headquarters, we set up like a yearly strategy for DEI. And I want to show you our vision of DEI, which I have to read, I'm sorry. Our vision is to cultivate a workplace where all employees feel valued, respected, and empowered to reach their full potential regardless of background or identity. So we have like a big vision that we share to all the employees in the chain level, but also develop in each property. Like, we are the only ACE in Japan, so develop our own strategies by property basis, and developing like yearly training program, like, you know, harassment or like gender bias, or of course LGBTQ basic class, which I be the teacher.
Okay.
But so for younger generations, they're more aware of, you know, what's to be included and then what's to be diversities. But like older age people still like some like stone-headed, so that's more difficult to teach them. But we've been doing the constant training year-round. So, and then for the LGBTQ issues, we started participating in local pride events. In Japan, usually June is not really a month for the event because it's a rainy season. So last year we did the Osaka Pride, which you were there.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So you say you do constant training with your people, which is really good. I think you only do this for the LGBT market, or you also do this with all the other markets?
The other market as well.
You do it for everybody, so for all your guests, all the target groups you work with. It's not specific only for LGBT, it's for every people.
Everyone's
all the target groups have different needs, probably.
Yes. But for the LGBTQ travelers, it's just still, I feel like in Japan, it have to be more visible. Like that you're welcome. So we have those progress flag at the front desk all year round. We started doing it for the Pride Month, but decided to keep putting there for all year round, which is good to show our own stuff for educational purposes. Yeah. And the guests will find the small flag and okay. With a happy face.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we need to check now what if we have some first experience. Also, Courtney, with your Travel Proud, we have first experiences now. I think we need to listen to this a little bit, what you get, where the feedback is, and how can you measure the long-lasting success with your initiative? This will be also interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the response has been quite amazing, actually. As I said, we've gotten to just under 100,000, which is, it feels really good to be making a big contribution like that as a company. I think we've learnt lots of things along the way. I mean, the experiences are big, so I'll just focus on one thing. So, for example, hospitality is in our veins, right? That's why we're in this business. I've heard it talked about before. It's like a calling, essentially, that if you try to leave the travel industry, it pulls you back in because it's just part of who we are as people. And so actually trying to market an education program to accommodation providers can actually be a bit of a double-edged sword, because they think, what, you think I don't give hospitality? You don't think I'm inclusive already? I love the LGBTQ+ community. So we really had to do a lot of learning on how to even speak about the program to make sure that people weren't being offended by the opportunity to participate, for example. But in terms of the measurement piece, I mean, I've mentioned it before, so I think Booking.com's big advantage in this space is really scale and our ability to talk to literally millions of accommodation providers. And so for us on that side of things, that's the measure of success. 100,000 is an amazing number, but we would like it to be far bigger than that, of course. I'm delighted actually that both of you are Proud certified, so very proud of that. However, I think as an industry, we should maybe be focusing on different numbers. So I talked about that survey that we do as one of our pillars to understand the LGBTQ+ travel experience, and we have heard that 58% of LGBTQ+ travellers report experiencing discrimination while travelling, and that number is relatively stable year on year. So that's not getting better. But on a more encouraging side of things, 3/4 of LGBTQ+ travellers told us that they see the industry getting more progressive and they feel more comfortable as a result of that. And so when I think about measuring success, we're doing our part, but I think as an industry, that's the measures that we should be looking at more broadly and collectively, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Edgar, what is you told us that your program is very easy to do online. We understand this, but how easy is it for your partners to include this into their inclusive strategy in the end? How can they work with this in overall? So you have experiences with this as well?
It's very easy. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Normally, the partners that we have, you have to think we trained already 200,000 people worldwide from the hospitality industry.
Wow.
All hospitality professionals. We have it in 8 languages available, and most of the properties, let's say the big properties of 3,500 workers, are able to do the training in less than 3 days. So we make it easy, that it's affordable for everyone, that everyone believes in it, that everyone can do it. And what we also offer is, after that, a partnership with IGLTA, that they know also what the International Gay and Lesbian Travel Association is doing. We partner with, we help them doing marketing in our social networks. Through social networks, we are available to reach to 35 million users that are LGBTQ on the social network, so we can do marketing campaigns focused only to the segments you want, the countries you want, and the origin you want. And we work for the hotels also to do their marketing campaigns and have a bit of knowledge of how to include the segment in their day-to-day operation and their marketing strategy. So we try to make it as easy as possible in a very short period of time, that they understand the basics. If they want to get into detail, they can just ask us for more help, and then we can do big marketing campaigns for the 35 million users that we sell to, and that they know that when it's Queer Destinations Committed, when the property is Queer Destinations Committed, it has a third-party audit, it has a mystery guest program, and that we trained already 200,000 people and growing.
Okay. So the Queer Vadis strategy is probably also very easy to do, absolutely the same thing. But what are the difference to these ones, and what is your experience with after when they did all these certifications? Is it easy for your partners to work with in the end? Said, oh no, it's difficult, and we don't do it in the end. So what are your experiences you have there?
That's a great question. I think similar to y'all, we often hear 2 or 3 common concerns from our partners and our clients, right? The first is a resource question. We don't have enough resources. We're a small shop, we're a small hotel. Even if we're quite large, there's a lot of multiple competing priorities every day. How do we make this our priority, right? Number one. I think the fear we talked about before, this fear of doing the wrong thing, the fear of saying the wrong thing, and then the pink and green washing is also very real. We hear that often in many ways, and there's a lot of certifications. So I think for us, look, you all should choose what's best for y'all. And I think we're an umbrella. We're all here working on the same mission, and I think that's really important, first and foremost. I think what my take is with Queer Vadis is, I think historically, LGBT travel has been focused on a demand side, and often on the demand of one type of LGBT traveler coming to our destinations, coming to our countries, which is very important. What we try to do is there are other parts of that umbrella that are also really important to think about. How can we target the other parts of the LGBTIQ community? How can we think about people living with disability? How can we think about other intersectional travelers and making them feel welcome? That's the first thing that we do really, really strongly. And it's really important for us to do that based on data. So we partner with lots of groups to really get data to work for y'all, to understand the micro level targeting, to understand how to think about branding, how to think about the way you approach your marketing and communication, and the way you think about what kind of communication is going to be effective and make people feel welcome when they come to your hotel, when they're a part of your tour, when they come to your city. Also similar, for us it's very important to be seamless. We work hand in hand with you all. We build a roadmap, we customize it, and for us also it's very important for us to think about scale and sustainability. And I think, for me, the last thing I'll say is, what we've seen time and time again, whether it's working with Best Western or working with the Italian Tourism Board, everything in between, is, like I said in the last question, I think we're at an interesting moment right now globally, and my sense is, individuals who think about this investment are going to start seeing a differentiation. I'm going to start choosing places that are committed to these types of values. And I think for a while it wasn't as clear, but now it's very clear to me, and I think to a lot of my friends, that they're putting their money where they feel safe and they know that there's an investment in it. I think that for all of us, there's a responsibility to think about that in terms of an economic value proposition and an economic differentiation. I really believe that we're going to start seeing the differences of places that really put that emphasis on our community versus those that are just not willing to put the fight, because we really are in a very precarious moment. So I'm really happy at what Queer Vadis is doing to really further that cause. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So Dominic, we talked about it earlier a little bit about these LGBT marketing strategy, what you do with your hotel, and what this affects other people in the other target groups in your hotel as well, because you're a really big hotel, I think 700 rooms or something like this. It's very big, so and it could be interesting for the audience to what are you doing really with the community here in Berlin, and what does this affect other people when you have other guests, other groups in your hotel?
Yeah, it's a good question. Overall, the hospitality industry was or is used to have guests from all different countries. So there's already an existing base for this type of people. However, we need to train the people, and my company, the Pandox, is we're also having a philosophy of inclusion in the hotel. So it starts already with the people you're hiring. It starts how you're training your people. So we also have intersectional people in the hotel working, and also that you understand, okay, are we working with different cultures already within the teams as the colleagues and so on. And that's very important also to support the people to understand, and also the next is also to understand the guests. So the guests are maybe also surprised to see guests in leather dresses and so on. So that's the one side what we're doing. The other side is like we're doing a lot of local things with the hotel in the community. So my hotel is located really close to Nollendorfplatz, and with 700 rooms, of course, we do already had some guests in the past coming to Folsom or to Pride or so on. So of course they knew our hotel, but why not giving a better exposure and understanding within the community that the people know, hey, I can come there when visiting Berlin because it's close to the queer area, it's close to everything. I mean, the Pride is passing the hotel, and why not, being more precise in this type of business? If it comes to the guests staying in the hotel, for example, last year, I'm working closer with Folsom Europe, so it's every year in September. This year is in end of August, and
we have to explain what Folsom is. Probably.
Yeah, Folsom is like the biggest leather fetish or fetish street event in Berlin. There also was another one in San Francisco, and it's like there are more than 22,000 people coming to Berlin over not only over the weekend, also some guests coming for a week and spending a lot of money and time in Berlin. And we decided to do like a blue hour where the majority male men meet before, and I had another group, a corporate group, staying in the hotel, and it was really like the classic thing, Murphy's Law. The people were from countryside and coming back from an event, and we had all this leather-dressed people standing in the bar, drinking and chatting and so on. And the ladies, they were really, wow, this like, okay, I'm coming to Berlin, and now I have really this what I'm expected to see in Berlin. Dressed people, I mean, not with a naked ass, but it was like, and but it was also interesting to see the ladies really started to chat, this tiny ladies next to this tall, leather-dressed people and mingling with them. And we're saying, yeah, I mean, if you're booking a hotel in Berlin, this could happen. I mean, this is Berlin, and Berlin is like having so many different niche types. It's not only leather, it's not only queer, it's also like so many other things. I mean, if you walk through Berlin, you have so many people dressed in different things, like this is a new fashion thing or something. The people just want to be unique. And when the guests coming and expecting this, yes. And the other side, we also have sometimes, communicate with the groups and say, hey, not everyone is happy to see a naked ass while having breakfast. So, I was talking with the organizer and saying, hey, maybe we can do some nice, funny pictures for the guests that they do understand, hey, you're more than welcome. But please don't forget, there are also other guests in the hotel. And if you want to have your fetish and so on presented, please not in the hotel. You're more than welcome, but please keep it a bit more private because we also have other guests in the hotel. And the community was really more open and also with a little smile, understanding what we wanted.
I think it's all about respect from all groups.
And
when
all
we
sides.
respect each other, then it's no problem at all.
That's the idea.
At the end of the day. Yeah, I think so too.
What month was the event?
This year it's in the end of August. The last week.
Sounds like my kind of.
She was going to get there.
Yeah, you know what? It's nice. I mean, it's really.
Already ready.
It's really interesting, and in the end, they're spending a lot of money, and it's also, to see there's so many people from overseas coming for 1 week and to Berlin, and you can see other people's working in the streets. And I mean, I went to the reception wearing a suit, so it's not my fetish, but in the end, it was my suit fetish because everyone else was wearing leather, and I was like the only one dressed in a suit.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be there next summer.
So Shio, so you are you're a hotel. You are not. I think you are not with the certification. You are not a member really. I think. Do you have the feel that you need this as a hotel, or to get a certification program, or you think you are happy with your own trainings, because that you are training the people because you are very educated in the LGBT market. So what you would say typically for your hotel?
No, I think that joining the certificate or the program is really helpful, and it just as an add-on. And it's like, even though we do our own training, sometimes you're not sure. Okay, are we doing this right? And then, but having the certificate, many of those programs has, you check. There's a question, you check, okay, we do this, we do that. So that's one of the good way to confirming, okay, we're doing good, we're doing the right way. So one of my colleagues several months ago shared the program from Booking.com. You have fantastic program in education in the session that's available in Japanese as well. So, it's part of learning process for us all. And 10 years ago, there was almost no such a program available. But now, more and more, like in different countries, regions have great programs start, becoming available, which is fantastic. And also IGOTA started accreditation program was it last year, 2 years ago. And like I said, it's self-marketed. There's 8 criteria, the segment, like assessment you can check to see if your staff, your company is doing, doing good or not. So that's really great tool to have it as an add-on.
But you use it for the hotel, or you don't? You use
We
it, but
haven't. I'm going to.
you
We're
are going to. And you choose one of those different, okay, that's good. Or probably more. Do you think it's interesting to have more of them? Or because Travel Proud is more for Booking.com, you can do another one. I think it's, because it's also something for outside.
if
you need the training inside, I understand this.
Yeah.
But also on the other hand, you have to do it for the marketing, for outside. This is also important. And these are different marketing strategies to reach different groups and people, I think.
So the problem for like Asian countries, or non-English speaking countries, it's usually available in major language, which is normally in English. So if it became like multi-language available, I think it would be more spread out to different countries.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have also questions from the floor, I think we would be also available to, if you're interested, to have some questions. Gentlemen? We have some in the back there. Yeah. Thank you.
Was it you? Do you have a question?
I have no more
if you
questions.
stand up, and then we will sort of speak through here, because I haven't got a microphone with me, but they will hear you. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm Dolores. I host a podcast called Truth Behind Travel.
Oh, yes.
A question for these programs, like as a person that has really studied the Queer Destination Certification Program, is how do you go about the cultural nuances of the countries you're training into? Because the travelers might be an international audience.
Indeed.
But when you're training people that are from specific cultures that approach this for the first time, how does the cultural element integrates into the program?
But that's obviously something that needs to be taken
Yes.
great care
Great
of. And we
question.
had this
Yes,
in
thank
earlier panels as well.
Right.
Maybe one of you guys would.
Yeah, please. Who wants?
Sure, we can maybe both. So our program's available in 11 languages, but it's actually more specificity than just translating. So it's really about making sure in Japan, for example, that we're really incorporating, exactly to your point, the cultural nuances, not just from a traveller perspective, but also as the people working in the property as well. So it's both sides. So I think that's really important, actually, that as you expand across different countries, you're taking all of that into account and making sure it's very relevant and authentic to the people who are going to be experiencing the learning.
Yeah, from our side, it's a bit different, as we measure at least that there has to be a minimum of value chain when you arrive to a destination. So it's not only an hotel. What we try to offer is from the moment you arrive, if you are from the LGBTQ community, you can decide with which transportation company you move to the place, to the hotel, which hotel are you staying. By the way, we are always out of the closet. The hotel has to say, we are a queer destinations committed place. There are no more closets for us. So if people are not from the community, they can scan and they will see, if you are not from the LGBTQ community, this is a place that respects the values of the community, which is very important also. So we do it with the hotel, we do it with the restaurants, we do it with the whole value chain of the destination. What's the difference there? Should we go to places where we have no rights? Some years ago, I would have told you we don't have to support it. But if you think about people of the community being in other places, are we going to leave them on the side because in their country there are no rights for the community? Or can we create a safe space with the people we work with in countries where there are no rights? Well, yeah, sometimes we help people that we really see a compromise and that they say, all my staff is compromised and all my staff will do the training. So we can avoid problems in countries like, or wherever, that is not permitted to be from LGBTQ. And we support them, but it's not easy. Yeah. Let's say it this way, it's not easy to support, to say to someone from our community you can go to that place in the world, but I suggest you to not go out of your hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let me just plus one to what both y'all said, and I think it's a really important question. I think first the data, which I think is an important one, using data and really making sure you use that and harness it in your way. And I think the other two things that was kind of alluded to, but very much focused on what we do at Queer Vadis is hiring. So even the earlier panel, talking about when you hire women, when you hire diverse individuals into your staff, it's such an important part because they get to have that voice and they get to share their own lived experiences and they get to implement that into the policies, into the operations. So I think diverse hiring, although right now, again, it's not a very fun word, you know, DE&I and intersectionality is getting attacked right now, but that's what it really is, getting diverse hiring so you have an understanding of those cultural nuances and those perspectives is really important, number one. And two is partnerships. One of our biggest pillars is just really thinking about partnerships. That is both on the local level. Part of my passion is working with local NGOs, local LGBT groups. They're the ones who are going to really give you that voice and be able to represent what the community needs. And partnerships with the tourism boards, the ministries, the city councils as well. Often it's a little bit of work of trying to find the right person in the government. But when you find that one person, the chief LGBT, the chief gay, they're often an ambassador and an advocate for you, and they can help you navigate it in really smart ways. So again, you know, for me, data, hiring, and partnerships really goes a long way for Queer Vadis. It's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have another question here from the floor? Anybody? More questions? Yeah, now we have a micro.
Don't be shy.
That was a nice share. Thank you for that.
Okay, so we can go here. Do you have some comments left, Frodo? We have a few minutes left.
Well, I think it just may be important to emphasize that I think the important thing is having training, not necessarily which of the trainings that you do. And I think there's an opportunity actually for all of us to collaborate even further because we, of course, recognize the quality of these programs as well. So I think that's the important thing, that we're making LGBTQ plus travelers feel welcome.
Yeah, I think this is the big learning from here today, that they really need to do something in the hotels. I think all hotels need to do something to train their staff, their partners for any target groups they're working with. But the LGBT community is a very important part for many hotels in the world, and they need to teach everybody and go also out of the closet, as you said, to all of the partners when they work in the market. If they don't want to, they don't need to work in the LGBT market, but if they do it, we need training and we need to be out of the closet and tell everybody. This is really important, and we are so glad today that we have so many different programs. Also IGLTA is a partner for this, so we have maybe there are some more we don't have here today, or we get more in the future. So, but we see that we get almost certification programs, that there is really a need for hotels.
Yeah.
It was really interesting with Booking.com that we have so many hotels worldwide who are really interested in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And can I add to that? I mean, what I say often with people I work with is, when I love working with the LGBTIQ community, although you can choose a different target group, what I say is often, when you design for the LGBTIQ community, you kind of only have to design once, because that often covers so many different intersections, identities, personal preferences, behaviors. So it's actually a really good efficiency in some ways. And so sometimes when you think about it from that broad spectrum of society, we represent every single part of our globally. So sometimes you can design it once if you're designing it for our community, and you don't have to do it again and again. And I think that's a really big part of, you know, our motto and where we think we add a lot of value. So, you know, and very similar.
Yeah, I was just saying about how important it is to certificate destinations in the whole value chain. I can explain you, we did the strategy for Los Cabos 5 years ago, where we had data. We had data, 6% of the tourists arriving to that destination was from the LGBTQ community. After we did the training, we had a minimum of value chain, which were almost 100 properties in total, and in the tourism industry. 23% of the people arriving to the destinations are from the LGBTQ community. So it's not only certification, there is much more behind. You can transform a destination by applying what you know or how you can market the destination. We're doing the same now with the Basque Country in Spain, and we saw it. In 1 year, there is a huge difference of LGBTQ travelers arriving to the Basque Country in Spain. Same with Brussels. We started last year. The impact is being massive. So you can transform destinations not only as a certification, but just make a change in the destination. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, but everybody also has to learn that we need to respect each other. And then it works also in a hotel like you here in Berlin. When we have the respect to everybody, then we can all live together in this world. We don't need to exclude different target groups, like in other countries. So
one more thing. Those training, of course, is really important, but I always tell my staff, just, also have fun. So we do events, parties, then many of our employees join on our own event at the hotel. And one of the most common compliment from the guests is, I came to ACE and your staff seems so happy and to be there, which is the great thing. So we, again, respect each other for the community, but we respect each other as a staff, and so as a team, we can do many new things. So the training, but also having fun is really important for any property, I think.
Yeah, this is the big question. We need to respect, but we also need to have fun. That's all about life. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a very interesting panel. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
There we go. Let's thank them one more time. Thomas, Alab, Dominique, Edgar, Shia, and of course the lovely, I have to look again because you were new to me. No.
Courtney?
No, you're Courtney and you're Dominique. Yeah, here we go. And Thomas, of course, for putting this together. Absolutely fabulous. Give them a hand.
Thank you so much.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.